we'll see how that goes. But like I said, we're back. Um, yeah, and if you caught the last stream, I was talking about building Angular apps with Vite, and this stream is going to cover um, building file-based routing in Angular, which is something I think is pretty interesting, and I'm looking to explore that. So, and I kind of give some backstory about how I got here and what I kind of used and what we got together so far, and we'll see, kick around some ideas and things. So feel free to uh, throw some stuff in the chat, and we'll see where it goes. Angular JS with Vite. I'm gonna say no thanks. That sounds like something that, matter of fact, it's probably something that you could do, uh, Josh, but I'm not interested in doing that. I think that ship has sailed long ago. But yeah, welcome back. Like I said, welcome back to the people in the chat. So yeah, let's switch over to here. Not that one. Pick up repo here. Okay, so this is the repo Angular with turbo repo. Now you're bringing the heat, bringing some fire in here. Angular Vite needs a logo. Yes, it does. I figure it'd be the Angular badge with the lightning bolt. Hey, that's not a bad idea. But okay, so here's the thing. I like how do I say this? Original logos. Well, even though the NGRX logo is like the Angular shield with the RxJS snake or whatever you call it in the middle of it, but um, I don't want it to just be those two things smashed together. Maybe that'd be more recognizable in the long run. But Angular and Vite are like the stack. I think that the actual thing should have a name itself, which I do have a name in mind. But that's still TBD on that. So, but yeah, on the Angular Turbo repo, I think Angular has the CLI, already has NX already. I haven't seen anybody try to do it with Turbo repo. I don't plan on doing it because I've already checked it out before, so I don't plan on doing that again. So yeah, there are plenty of tools out there to choose, NX being my tool of choice for mono repo. So next, no. Okay. No, we're not going to just throw an A on the name like Nuxt or Next and make the Angular version of that. Let's be a little more original, and that way it'll have its own branding, I guess. So there we go. NG Nuxt? No. I want to have an original name. No, okay, not an original name, but I think you get the drift. NG Nuxt RX. Okay, now I have to get into. See, this was what happens. The chat gets involved, and then we have to go down this rabbit hole. And I'm fully ready to go down the rabbit hole, but we worked on a project when I was at a previous job for a hackathon. Hey, Vortex, what's up? Previous job, we worked on a hackathon, and it was a project that was using RxJS, and the name of the hackathon project was RxTX RX, I believe. So there you go. We threw as many RXs in the name as possible, but it was a fun project, and I enjoyed working on it. So, but yes, that's another conversation for a previous day. Angular SWC inbox me the name I did. No, it's going to. Okay, so I'll give you a little secret. I have a grand idea to make a meta framework on top of Angular. Vangular. Oh, that's even better. I think we should ship that one. Vangular. Let's call it Vang. Um, Vang is what we'll call it. Ship it. There we go. Brangular. Oh, that's great. Keep it coming, folks. I want these to be on the record for these names that we have here that we're gonna come up here. So keep them coming in the chat. I like it. Braco Dev, Tau JS, great name. Tau API Unifier, aka Tau. Hey, that's Tauception here. Tauception is great. Let's keep it going. But yeah, you probably didn't come here to hear me ramble on ramble about on names and things. You came to see about some Vite and some file-based routing. So let's switch over to that. Okay, I'll give some backstory. Why else would we be here? You're here for the banter, and I appreciate it. And I'm here for the banter also. So yes, let's keep that going. But yes, the original project that I started was, well, I didn't start this project. I'm assembling pieces at this point, but I thought it was a pretty cool idea to use Angular and Vite together. There's a plugin available for that, built by some very smart folks. One of them in the chat, Jordan. That repo name, ngvite. I know it's incredibly original. And this is why we should have something more original than that for the actual name, because it maybe use other things other than Vite and stuff like that. So there you go. But I went down this other rabbit hole of like, okay, Vite has plugins and you can use those to do interesting things like virtual file imports. So let's go to the Vite docs here. Get started. I'm not smart. What do you mean? Okay. He literally like took the compiler and made it work with another build tool. So that counts for something. So there you go. If people didn't drop in on streams to hear the streamer ramble, I'd have 0 views on my streams. I don't know about that, Mark. Your streams are pretty interesting. But yes, Vite has an API for plugins, and one of the things you can do is to use what they call virtual modules or virtual files. So this is part of what the Angular plugin for Vite is doing also, but you can request a certain file from a path, and it will give you can dynamically generate basically what that is. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I went and I searched for Vite plugin, Vite file-based routing, and I came across this thing, Vite plugin pages. And what it does is pretty much what I was looking for: file-based routing, system-based routing for Vue 3 React using Vite. So this is the rabbit hole that I got started down. So it has a plugin file here and pages, and you can define those routes as file-based routes, and it will generate this import path here that you can use. I guess I should zoom in there some. This import path here. And this actually works for Vue and Solid, which is pretty cool. But of course, once again, we run into the place where there's no support for Angular yet. So I took that and copied it into the project here, and it has some resolvers for each one of the other things. So I added one for Angular to resolve the routes based on the file paths. And I shared this out on a tweet earlier this week. Maybe it was yesterday. And it got a lot of attention, which I thought was pretty cool, pretty interesting. Yes, time is weird. I don't even know what day it is. Is this Friday? Is it Monday? No, it can't be Monday. because this was a short week for me anyway. So the weekend's here already, but you know how that time goes. So yeah, I've been tinkering around with this. Too happy for it to be Monday. That is correct. Um, yes, if it had more days, it would definitely be. My demeanor might be a little different, but we're here. It's Friday and we're here. And I like to hack on things on Fridays. And I like to stream and talk to you people. So there you go. That's why that's why I'm trying to keep it rolling. So people will, of course, show up and join in on the fun. So each one of these files is a route, or it turns out to be a route. So this is my home route. And as you can see, I'm kind of using the scam approach here. So the route file itself has a component module that's exported as a default. So I don't have to guess what the routes are or guess what the export is. So I don't have to use AST exploring or anything like that. So making use of some defaults there. And then for the nested routes, it just follows the structure of the folder. So admin dashboard would be admin/dashboard in the URL there. And I'm going to, so it generates that. And that seems to be working there. So we'll see if this fires up correctly. Because of course, when you try to get things prepared for the stream, it's like, oh, I don't want to work anymore. It's like, great. So we'll see. But I know how to at least get it to a working state. So we'll see. People are watching, so I'm going to break. That's right. Okay. So if I open that on localhost 3000, it's probably going to be broken still. Yes, that's okay. And you can see this error here. Missing initializer and const declaration. So that's where I was before, but as I mentioned before, I know where to go and fix the thing, I think, if I haven't forgotten. So stringify, what I want to do is take this out. So I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure exactly where in the tool chain this is having an error, but I know this is going to give me a different error. So we'll show that one too. No provider for breakpoint observer. So this is, excuse me, breaking on the DI. So, which wasn't happening before, ironically enough, which is fine. So we can come in here and comment that out. And we'll change this to false. I'm just letting you know that this was working at some point and then it got broken, but now it works for some reason. So here we are. Back here, localhost 3000. If I go to home, we can see the homes route. And I kind of walk through these routes here. So we got home, as you can see there, homes, and then there's a parent route for products, which is just a router outlet for that component, and then that component has child routes under it for product/new and just products on its own. And then this was a dynamic route, because dynamic routes are defined with enclosed in brackets. So, and then the catch-all route here, which seems to be everybody's favorite, is enclosed in brackets with triple 3 periods to do like the rest parameter, where it captures everything that's after that. So, so I go back here. Like I mentioned before, Vite will Let's go back here. Some backstory. Let's see, where is... So look in the Vite config. Like I said, I copied that plugin into locally here so I could have a little more feedback quicker. And it lets you define what kind of resolver it's going to be, where the pages are, the extensions it's to look for. And it actually supports remix routes also, but that really doesn't apply here. So import mode, which I'm not using really, that was from some previous tinkering. And it also has these callback hooks where you can modify the routes and modify the client code that gets generated. And then we have the Vite Angular plugin there that, like I said, the NXEXT team worked on. And so if you look in app routing module, what this does is you can import from the ~/Angular pages, and it will give you those routes for the router module. So you still have a little bit of flexibility there in how you can define routes. So if I only wanted to define a parent route, or a parent here, and I wanted to tack on some more child routes on the end, I could do that too, which is pretty cool. But the general idea is that you would only, this part would probably be the only piece that you actually need to do as far as the tail end of the route. And that's, I don't see a way that we can get around that at the moment, unless we we'd have to like over optimize it to try to generate this, but then you'd have other imports in here and things, and that would just get a little messy, I think. So but yeah, so like I mentioned before, we got home and products, and then products / for an individual product. So all that's working. And if enough, I put a bad route in here, it goes to a page not found, and that's the catch-all route here that I mentioned for the overall catch-all route. And then this one could be for if you wanted to do something for product specific, or something specific under products that you wanted to use a different catch-all route for that. So it seems you have a dedicated directory for pages. Yes, and that is true. And you could put these things inside of the app directory. It isn't fixed in that it has to be outside of here. I'm just following the convention of the plugin as it is right now. So, but yeah, it could be, we could move this inside the app folder and just update the config to point in there also. So that will work too. But as you can see, I'm not defining any routes. I'm not defining the routes array. And if we look in here in the DevTools and do sources, you can actually see what the generated output looks like. So it has this, let's see if we can pretty print that. There we go. So it generates each one of the routes along with the, let's see, make that a little bigger. So it generates each one of the routes with the correct path and child routes under it. So, and right now we're lazy loading all the child routes under that there. So except for the parent component route for products, because that's something that you might actually want to have a parent route for a layout where you can switch between child routes and that sort of thing. So, or like switch between products without having to reload the whole page. Everything below the server root folder is served. Yeah, it still works. Excuse me. It still works like a regular Angular app does as far as the routing goes. So it's effectively generating the routes, generating all the routes and just using them. I could copy this like if you wanted to eject from this for some reason, you could copy this file as it is and just paste that into your actual code base and save it and use that. And of course, make it nicer looking than what this is. Because like I said, I'm making some assumptions on how things are being imported to make things simpler, at least for lazy loading. If we could lazy load components themselves, that would be interesting, I think. But there's something else to explore also. So yeah, I think that is the demo portion of the of the stream. But what I wanted to do is next is maybe tinker around with some of the layout of how we define child routes or parent and child routes. And then another person asked how we would use like guards and resolvers and things like that, because those are baked into the configuration here. So how would you import those and use them? So that's, I don't know if I have enough time to dig into that, but just something on the list to think about also. And I'm open to suggestions. I'll push this up after the stream is over so people can pick through it also. Because this is, like I said, this will turn into something else, I think, eventually, where you'll be able to just like clone a new project and just be able to use these things and not have to do all the kind of hacky stuff I'm doing now. So let's go back in here. Or we could even take this a step further and have this be like file router module, and it give you all of this. There's errors there because of course that doesn't work, but and then the generated output would include the router module.for root, or maybe not. It would like internally use like the router reset config to do that too. So, but people probably want some flexibility there on, being able to enable tracing and things like that. So, hey, Pia, hopefully I less butchered your name one way or the other, but thanks for coming through. I hope you had a good week. And yeah, so let's see if I know there was. Now I got to bring up the tweet here. Let's see. Bring up the tweet here, and let's go back here. And okay, because there was Mira brought up a good point about the file layout here, and I wanted to bring it up to ignore the memes for now. As he talked about remix. All right, here we go. He was looking at maybe doing something like products and having the layout be under that. Excuse me. Never ignore the memes. That's right. Splashly, hey, how are you? See, I don't have the fancy bot. My bots are broken at the moment because I'm in between bots. I'm gonna incorporate Restream into the bot, and also the other ideas for the bot. I'm good. It's Friday. I'm streaming. We're hanging out, having some fun. So how are you? Glad you could come through. But yes, the products layout TSX JSX was the one of the ideas there. So I want to keep tip on that one too, and see if we could, like I said, explore other avenues for laying out the parent-child relationship between the routes and the children, because we still have to collect all of that into the routes array. So let's see if we can at least have it to where products, I guess more like the remix style products, where you don't have to have the double underscores for it to determine what is a parent for the child routes. And some of this is, I'll admit, is copy paste from how it resolved React routes, because the styles are kind of similar as far as the logic goes. And then I had to add some logic to push static routes over dynamic routes and catch-all routes, like all the way to the bottom. So how many things aren't copy pasta? I don't know. Some people write things from scratch, but not me. At least not all the time anyway. We copy paste our way to victory or freedom or whatever you want to call it. So there's that. Okay, so I put this in here to replace the path. So let's see. If I just come here and change this to products, I'm sure that's gonna probably break. Well, I do have an import here. There we go. Okay, so products. Okay, so that still works. That's cool. Plugin pages. And then underscore there. So how it works though, just from the code point of view, is that it splits up the paths into segments. And if the, like for this route, if that path has a parent, or if this route has, if that segment, like this is the end of the segment, and if the one previous to it has a parent, then it marks, adds those as children. Oh no, okay, no, it's not working correctly. So you can, as you can see, we got products here and products here. So all it did was take away my parent component that I had there. Yeah, and I can understand why that isn't working right there. So let's go back in and rename this one also. And see if it picked it back up. Okay, so it looks like we're back to where we were now with the pages products, or the products component, and the things under it. But it looks like product ID. Yeah, one thing I was looking at before that I need to improve the logic on is the static routes versus dynamic routes. So if I go to product/new, it's still going to go to product, but I want it to go to new product instead. So if, I believe I can remove that part and see how we can make this logic better. Ends with, because I always want the static routes to be, I always want the static routes to be ahead of the dynamic ones. So this is just doing some sorting on the as they come in. Yeah. So what I have here, at least now, is if it's an index route or it ends with a bracket, which means it's a dynamic route, then to push it down. Yeah, I want the dynamic routes after static, but before wildcard. Yes. Yeah, and this was, let's restart that, working before where they were defined correctly, but maybe that shouldn't have had to do anything to do with the changing of the folder structure. But yeah, so like you see here, like I want new to be above product ID. And if we look at these, if data path includes products, I'm just digging in the dark here, admittedly, but that's what we got to do here. And that's okay. Because I went looking through some of the, I think maybe Angular is unique in this way in that the order matters when it's actually trying to find routes. Because ideally, this wouldn't matter. Because when it's trying to find the routes that it needs to matches, it would put these in the right priority by itself inside the router itself. But it's more explicit in that way, which is fine. Okay, did I print any files? Okay, I must be doing something wrong here. A path includes, oh, this should be product. Okay, so we got product and ID, so it doesn't compare. It looks like it never gets to compare product ID and against new. I don't know if I change the sort order, I don't think that's going to matter either, because I probably have to do more than one pass on the sorting there, which I may have to look into that some more. Unless someone has a sweet sorting algorithm that I can look through. Any suggestion for a tool to write automatic migrations for a JSTS library? Kind of like NX migrations, but not dependent on NX. Is JS Code Shift a tool in this area? What? No. Yeah, it's a good question. I think that, sorry, I'm going to go digging into router code here. But I think code mod, or the code mods, which may be the same thing as JS Code Shift, is the thing that you probably want to look for. Yes, we're digging into some source. It's been a while since I've dug into some Angular source. What am I looking for? I think this is the one. I'm just looking to see if it has what it uses in here to determine. Well, no, it's going to look for the first match. Process segment against route. Yeah, I think this is just going to go through each one as is. Process segment for each route in the config. Yeah. So this still, the order still needs to be in a certain place. So product ID. We got new. There isn't a convention I can use, I don't think, to push that down to the bottom there. So you know what? We're still gonna go digging through some other router code because Miro, I think, wrote some logic to treat. This was another thing we baked into Angular component router, where have I written unit tests? No, I have not written unit tests. This project already has unit tests, of course. All right, we're back. Where was I? Unit tests. No, I have not written unit tests. But this project does have unit tests itself that I could use to test these things out. So it already has a good bit of coverage, I think, there already. I haven't dug into the unit test because I'm proof of concepting at this point, which is fine, I think. It'll have proper unit tests when it's meant to be consumed by others other than myself. That's why if I push it up on GitHub, then you're on your own, and you can hack on it all you want to. When it's good and ready, that's right. Tim, what's up? How are you? You wouldn't happen to have any sorting algorithms on your on hand, would you? No. What was I saying? Okay. Miro wrote a sorting algorithm in Angular component router. And I'm trying to find where that thing is. Enjoying your evening. Cool. Utils. Maybe this thing is it. Sort. Thanks, Tim. I can always count on Tim to help me out there. Okay. I think this is what I'm looking for. Compare segments. If A has no more segments, B has no more segments. If the segments are equal, prioritize non-empty path over empty. Ignore param names. Ah, okay. Static segment has priority over param. See? People smarter than me doing these things. Compare segments. A and B, get path segments. Okay, so this breaks things into, where's get path segments? I think that is the, okay, I think I at least have a path to something I can bring in here. Get path segments, split. That file could make a nice gist. Yes. All right. Let's get these copy paste fingers ready. Compare routes. I'm what do they call it? Stack overflowing at its finest. Where do I want to put this? Let's see. Compare routes. Okay, get path segments is up next. Route that path. Put that there. Route. I have in here. GitHubbing. Is that what you call it? Gonna split that into its own lib now. Yes. What should we call it? Sort route paths on npm. Ship it. Resolvers. Angular. Okay. Page route. Is this in here or is this somewhere else? Page route map. ng routing compare. Here we go. Well, I guess that's the Angular way, right? We got to throw ng in front of everything. I'm gonna throw some innies. I'm gonna make chow eye twitch and throw an innie in front of this one. ngx. Hot take. Don't like that one either, but it's fine. Okay, compare routes. We can drop the G. That one's already taken. That one's already taken. Matcher. Whoops, we don't need that. ng-react. Oh, that one's very original, Shivam. Very original. Very original. Okay. Math, max, A segments, B segments, path. Okay, let's see what we got here. Can I do compare routes, A and B? I've forgotten what the arguments are. Oh, there we go. ng route compare utils. See, now we're back to the name, the wacky names here. comparing two routes. Okay, get path segments, route.path. This should work, or it should do something. Oh, okay, a.options. I don't have an exact property in here. So when path are the same, exact has priority. Okay, so we'll just say if all else fails, return -1. Let's see if this blows up. No? Okay. Did something. It really did something because now we're not finding anything. Ah. It flipped my entire tree here. Interesting. Okay. I think so. It kind of worked and it kind of didn't. New is where it's supposed to be, followed by empty path, which your path matches full, so it's going to skip that unless it's just like products, and then product ID and wildcard. So that is all good. I wonder if, well, no. Okay, I guess the easy thing to try would be to alphabetical ordering. Well, I think it does that in the compare routes as a last ditch effort here. Is param. Oh, more phone calls. 1 second. I think we're back again. Okay. Spammers won't leave me alone. Can't they see I'm trying to get some copy paste going on here? They're calling to tell me I shouldn't be copy pasting, but they can't stop me. Okay, so the all right. Let's see. Where was I? Oh. We definitely don't want the wildcard routes to be at the top. I wonder what happens if I just change that. Let's see what that generates. Okay, so path not found. It puts it at the bottom, which is better. So we got new product, products, home, dashboard. All those seem to work okay. But if I put bad, that's, I guess that counts because it's just finding the, it's just treating the, it's just treating the variable or this variable route as a catch-all, I guess. Interesting. I wonder what happens if I add 2 paths. Okay, and that doesn't find anything, which is kind of expected because it doesn't catch the rest of the path there. So new. What did you think, chat? Do you think the products file with the products folder and stuff under it is closer, or the yes, not found? I get it. Where did my sources go? I don't want that one. Yeah, I think, let's see, compare routes, each segment. Current segments. I'm guessing maybe what I could do is static param, ignore param names. At least what I'm thinking is priority non-empty path. Has no more segments. I think what I want is a segments index. Segments. Okay. Admin and not found. At least what I'm thinking is that if B segments starts with catch all, then turn 1. Is a catch-all. I'm not sure if that's going to work, but we'll try it. And then maybe we'll call it. Okay, still not found. Products. Andres, I'm doing good. How are you? I am fumbling my way through. Trying to figure out this sorting. Still has that one at the top there. Okay, so let's look at what Page routes. Looks like after. Okay, so it pushes that one all the way to the top. So do I just need, well, I feel like I've already, okay. B.path. This might not work either, but we'll see. But I'm doing good. Guess I could have looked at the routes. Still at the top there. Now it's got both of them at the top. Now we're just trying to get something working. If I reverse that, then it'll push those down to the bottom instead. And now we're back with our original issue with the new being under the product ID, which is not what we want. So I'm going to have to tinker around with that some more. So yeah, I'll push this up and see where we get to on that. Let's see. I'm going to throw this one in here as a last ditch effort for this one. A path includes or B. Then push it down. Or let's see what it looks like before the do a little more digging here before we wrap up. Okay, so that one is still at the top there, even after just the initial sort. And new was all the way at the bottom. Okay. Yeah, because they'll be sorted by length first or slash count first. And then the route comparison. Compare routes is, may need to do something with this one. B has more segments. They're the same. Let's see if I ever hit this case. Okay. Okay, so home, not found. Product ID, not found. New, not found. Includes starts with. Okay, so we did hit it on this side either. If a segment starts with that, or no, we're still not found all on the right. Console log debugger. Yes. Well, okay. I'm a mix of both. It depends on it depends on how hard I'm struggling, so you can tell where I'm at. If as far as what I'm working on in particular. So if I'm more familiar with that, then I'll come in here and I'll just throw a breakpoint in there, which I don't think the source maps are working correctly in here. But if it's something I can do in the browser, then I'll use the breakpoints. But for node stuff, yeah, more console log all the way. So if somebody has some tips on where I can run this in the debugger, I will gladly try it out. Because B segments length. Okay, so let's try look at some of these other cases. If B segments length is less than index. Okay, no more segments. A segment length. Segments, okay. I don't think I should move this up because it's still falling within that case, so I think we're good there. Prioritize not empty. I think those are good. But yeah, I'm returning the compared. So I guess it just depends on what it's sorting against. Home not found. Because my original, I guess we can look at, we'll see what the original is. The original path is just going to be everything as it found it. But yeah, I'll have to look at that some more because, like I said, I had it in the right order, but I probably stashed the changes or missed it or something. So, but I'll push it up either way. Where it is now. Let's see. Because it's all whip anyway. So let's go back to where we were. Oh, now you want to give me breakpoints. No thanks. Yeah, okay, so now we're back where we were. We're back where we were. Catch all routes at the bottom. Admin products. It's just the child routes that aren't being sorted correctly. So maybe I'll have to drill into the child routes and sort those too. That could be an option. Because now they'll be nested under the parent routes. So yeah, I'll look into that some more, but I think at least made some progress, I think. I think we settled on removing the underscores from the paths there. So you got products for parent and products folder for the other ones, which we can tinker around with that some more. And yeah. And we'll get to guards and stuff another time. I'll probably maybe hack on that some more over the weekend or something. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, there you go. Sirkin, what's up? I didn't see you come in, but maybe just been hanging out. But thanks for coming through. Cool. So yeah, I think on that, um, we will find somebody to raid if there's anybody available. Hey, Charlie Devs, what's up? How are you? It's been a while. You have a good weekend also. Splashly, I will see you on your stream if you stream today or some other time. Um, always fun there. Let's see. Who can we raid? Anybody got a suggestion on a raid? Because none of my usual folks are around. If Brocco was going to jump on, I would give him a raid. So we'll see. Stream manager. Six design. Okay, let's see who that is. Oops. F4. Co-working Twitch bot. I haven't seen this person before. Out at 4 stream is on. Yeah, they're doing a lot of DevOps stuff. 3 design is doing bootcamp MailApp 3JS. Hey, why not? Let's go for it. I'll give Outlet 4 a stream maybe another time. So let's go with that. Hey, there we go. Thanks everyone for coming through, hanging out. We'll hack on this some more. We'll push up to the GitHubs, and we'll see if people take it and run with it some more. Put in some PRs and have more fun. Yeah. But on that, I will see you all next time.